Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. My name is Ogbodo. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a new subscriber and you just see my face for the first time, you're most welcome to this channel. And if you're a returning viewer or subscriber, come on guys, thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. It's been a minute and I missed you all, but I'm here now, and today I'm going to be breaking down what it looks like to relocate to Ireland as a dependent. As you all may already know, I just relocated to Ireland as a dependent, my husband being my sponsor. So without wasting any much of our time, let's get right into the video. Welcome back guys. So a dependent in Ireland is usually a spouse, a partner, a child of someone who already has permission to live in the country. So this person might be a student, might be a worker, might be an Irish citizen, or even an EU citizen. Any of those people can qualify to be the sponsor. As a dependent, your visa conditions and rights is dependent on the immigration status of the person you're joining. I'll explain that more as we progress. Also, for you to be allowed to be a dependent, your sponsor must prove and show that they are able to fully support you or any other dependents they may be bringing without the help of government or public funds. So now, what qualifies you to be a dependent? Number one, if your partner or parent is a citizen or holds a stamp 4. Now, if your partner is a citizen or holds a stamp 4 is more like the long-term residence or the permanent residence, there are chances that you may be granted a stamp 4 visa as well. Stamp 4 gives you freedom to work, to study, to be self-employed, to engage in a business. Like, stamp 4 is like the real deal here in Ireland. If you have a stamp 4 visa, you are free to do a lot of things in Ireland. You're entitled to public funds as well. You're entitled to benefits from the government. There are lots of benefits. Like, I think that's the most flexible stamp here in Ireland, of course, apart from the citizenship. So I think the difference between you and a citizen is just the passport if you hold a stamp 4. Number two, if your spouse or parent is under the critical skill work permit or is a researcher under the hosting agreement. Now, if your spouse is in this category, they would likely be under the stamp 1, which means that they have a work permit. Now, you as a dependent, you are qualified for a stamp 1G. Stamp 1G means that you're permitted to stay in Ireland. You're permitted to work without seeking for a different work permit, like a separate work permit. You can study, you can do any course of your choice in Ireland, but you were not permitted to own a business. You're not permitted to be self-employed. So as a dependent with a sponsor in this category, once you get to Ireland, make sure you register with the immigration and obtain your IRP. The jobs under these are nurses, engineers, the tech guys, the managers, directors. If you're a highly skilled professional, you're more likely to be issued a critical work skilled permit. Number three is if your spouse or your parent is on the general work permit. Now, if they are in this category, you're more likely to be on a stamp 1 because they have a work permit. So before the 15th of May 2024, you would have been granted a stamp 3 as a dependent of someone under the general work permit. So that means that you need to look for a job that is willing to sponsor you. When you see the job, you apply for the job, and then when you get the job, with the job you can now apply for a general work permit. That was how it used to be. But now, in accordance with the non-EEA family reunification policy, you will now be registered under the stamp 1G. Yes, that is actually exciting because now you can work. Although all the benefits of stamp 1G, you now have it, you have access to it. You don't need a separate work permit to work. You can study, you can have a job, you can get employment. The only thing is, of course, you cannot be self-employed and you cannot own a business. But I think the most important thing is being able to work in this country, because that makes life easy for you and your family. The downside to being a dependent of someone with a general work permit is that you have to wait for 12 months before you join them, unlike in the critical skilled work permit or the researcher under the hosting agreement. You as a dependent can join your family at any time. You don't have to wait for 12 months. But in the general work permit, your sponsor must have worked in Ireland for 12 months before they can process your papers to come over to Ireland as a dependent. So the jobs under this under the general work permit are healthcare assistant, meat processor, horticulture worker, like name it, all the jobs that might be coming to your mind, or all the jobs that are not highly skilled, they are under the general work permit. The fourth is if your spouse or parent is a PhD student. Yes. So if your spouse is a full-time international PhD student, they are usually on stamp 2, and as a dependent, you will be on stamp 2A, except if changed later on. I hope they change it, but for now, that is what it is. You'll be on stamp 2A. Stamp 2A means that you're permitted to stay in Ireland, but you are not permitted to work unless you apply for a separate work permit, which is possible anyway. You're not permitted, of course, to be self-employed or to own a business. I know this can be limiting, but there is a way around it. If you can qualify for jobs in high demand, like the health or the tech jobs, then you can get a job that will be willing to sponsor you, and then you will just transition into having either a critical skill work permit or general work permit, which gives you the permission to work in Ireland. My advice for people in this category is that you speak to maybe an immigration lawyer or an immigration expert, and they will help you, direct you on how to go about it, how to apply for jobs, the courses you can actually study right here in Ireland that will give you an edge and help. Now, some PhD students in Ireland are placed under researchers, and so they are given the host agreement, which makes them eligible to get a stamp 1. That means their dependents would automatically get a stamp 1G when they apply. But that's not always the case. Most PhD students in Ireland are placed under studentship, which makes them eligible to get a stamp 2, and so their dependents are likely to get a stamp 2A. If your spouse is a full-time master's student or studying for his bachelor's, the chances that you can come as a dependent is very, very low. Honestly, that's the truth. It's very, very low. Except if you can prove beyond all reasonable doubts that you're financially independent and can take care of yourself and your dependents. Like, that has to be a lot of money to prove, honestly. But even at that, the chances are still very low. Like, I don't know, I've not heard of anyone that they allowed their dependents as a master's or bachelor's student. But I know that it can be possible, maybe 1 in 100 people, but just know that the chances are very low. So who can be a sponsor? An Irish citizen, a person married to an Irish citizen, a person living in Ireland with a stamp 1 or a stamp 4, a researcher under a hosting agreement, and a PhD student in Ireland. So if you fall into any of these categories that I've just mentioned as a dependent, I would advise these 3 things. Number 1, register early with the immigration. Do not say that you have a lot of time. If you can, register early. The earlier, the better. It can take, visa and immigration process can take so much time, much more time than you expect. So the earlier, the better. Number 2, always check your stamp type and know your rights. You can log on to the immigration website and do your own findings. Know about your stamp and know about the things that you're entitled to with that stamp. Know your rights. And number 3, ask questions and do your own research. Google is your friend. Do well to go online, browse about it. If you know people who came to Ireland just the way you're trying to move to Ireland, call them, ask them questions. Don't just do things blindly, because the more you know, the better. And now we have come to the end of this video. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comment section and I'll try and answer your questions. Feel free to drop a comment as well. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your loved ones or anyone who you think might find this video helpful, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.